How's it going? Sunday, September 10th, 2023. Motor book. Baseball's top 5 pitcher list. Covering certain categories in pitching. Pitching wins, innings, strikeouts, shutouts, games started, complete games, earned run average, winning percentage, and saves. Who made the top 5 in all these categories? Combine all the National and American League pitchers through all the years, 1871, National League, up to 1901, and then the American League gets going. And you go all the way to 2022. Who made the top 5 in each of those years in pitching this video, shutouts? Who can lay claim as the greatest pitcher in baseball history concerning shutouts? First, let me tell you the career leaders. Walter Johnson, 110. Pete Alexander, 90. Christy Mathewson, 79. Cy Young, 76. Ed Plank, 69. And for a season, the most shutouts in a season, Pete Alexander had 16 one year. Whew. In order to get the shutout, you got to pitch the complete game, right? George Bradley, 16. Jack Coombs, 13. Bob Gibson, 1968, remember? 13. And Bud Calvin, 12. I'm interested in this book, Baseball's Top 5 Pitcher List. Who led each year and who had the most times doing it? Walter Johnson and Cy Young can lay claim that they landed in the top 5 among all the pitchers combined in the National and American Leagues. They did it the most, 10 times top 5. Walter Johnson from 1910 through 1924, and Cy Young, 1892 through 1904. 10 times top 5, leading in shutouts. Third, Kid Nichols, 8 times. These pitchers did it 7. Christy Mathewson, Pete Alexander, Roger Clemens, and Walter Spahn, 7 times, top 5 shutouts. 6 times, Albert Spalding, way back, 1870s. Bert Blyleven, Bud Calvin, Randy Johnson, Tommy Bond, Jim Palmer, 6 times. And then 4 other pitchers, 5 times. Candy Cummins, Will White, Greg Maddux, and Don Drysdale. Shutouts is rare, especially in today's baseball era. But I go through from 1871 to 2022, listing the pitchers who had the most shutouts for the year. I go very meticulous. I go through every year, top 5. And these are the guys that made the list. You got to make it 5 or more times. Other guys pitched shutouts, maybe made it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I'm interested in guys who made it 5 times or more. Walter Johnson and Cy Young, 10 times. I'll go to the list again because it's short, very short list. Kid Nichols, 8. Christy Mathewson, Pete Alexander, Roger Clemens, and Walter Spahn, 7. 6, Albert Spalding, Bert Blyleven, Bud Calvin, Randy Johnson, Tommy Baum, Jim Palmer. And then 5 times, Candy Cummins, Will Wright, Greg Maddux, Don Drysdale. 17 pitchers landed in the top 5 the most. There are other pitchers that made it, but not 5 or more times. What do you think of that? Are these the greatest pitchers regarding shutouts? You got to give it to Walter Johnson, 110. He's the only one in triple figures, right? The next closest for a career is Pete Alexander, 90. So Walter Johnson had 20 more than the next closest competitor. Christy Mathewson, 79 career. Cy Young, 76. Ed Plank, 69. Notice all old school. They pitched longer, stayed in the game. They wanted the shutout. How about that? I think the old school pitchers were better than the new school pitchers of today. You know, today, if you watch a ball game, starting pitcher goes 5, 6, maybe 7 innings, and then he has 100 pitches thrown. How come these guys stayed in the game? They were gamers. Are today's pitchers not gamers? I'm sure they have the attitude and the fortitude and the willingness, but for some reason the managers are taking them out. I guess they want to preserve their arms so they last the whole season. But what about these old-time pitchers? Didn't they last the whole season? They played 154 games. Maybe in the turn of the century they were playing about 100 games. But what's going on with today's new school pitchers? I mean, like after 1950. Well, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s, you had guys pitching shutouts, but their innings were cut back, strikeouts are down, and then the shutouts are way down. I find it very interesting, these old school pitchers. Well, what I'm going to do is my next video, games started. Who landed in the top 5 in games started? Again, the old schoolers will outdo, old school pitchers will outperform the new school pitchers as far as games started. You watch. I'm going to go through the top 5 from 1871 all the way to 2022. Who landed in the top 5 in games started the most? Again, that's a short list. Games started. Next video. Then I'll do complete games. Separate video on that. Then I'll do earned run average. That'll be interesting. Then I'll do winning percentage. Top 5. And then saves. Got to add that as a pitching category because the save has really picked up, especially after 1950 as far as a stat. Okay, so this video I want to highlight my book, Baseball's Top 5 Pitcher List. I did a book also, Baseball's Top 5 Hitting List, Player List. That was a labor of love. I have all those videos on YouTube if you want to check out my channel. Thanks for watching. I'm out.